what is your view and what's your recommendations the actual night of Halloween when all these costumed individuals come banging on the door looking for goodies?
You know, dogs learn from a pretty early age, at least most dogs do if they've been around and exposed to humans at an early age when they're puppies, before 12 weeks or so, what a human silhouette looks like, and they learn how to deal with us. And they learn how to, kind of put us in their, they put what we look like and what a typical human looks like in their database. So then anything that veers off of a typical human silhouette can really freak them out. So that's why even some dogs will bark at people when they're carrying bags, or if they're carrying a box, if they're wearing a hat, if they're wearing big sunglasses, things like that, puffy coats. So imagine then Halloween costumes, how much scarier that could be, because imagine how much that changes our silhouette. So, dogs are looking at all parts of us and each other to gather information about our emotional state, and if we are safe or not for them. So imagine then when we're wearing costumes that are covering our eyes, covering the expressions, of our eyebrows, our jaws, all of that kind of stuff. And so even with other dogs, I have really mixed feelings about dressing dogs up and having them around other dogs, because when you dress a dog up in a costume, again, you're changing that silhouette. So imagine a dog that's dressed up as like a dragon or something, and they have these big, what are they called? Like scales on their back? No, like the
no, you're right. They're
the big scales on their back. So imagine that to another dog. That could be like, holy crazy piloerection. So that piloerection on a dog is those hackles up on their back. And to another dog, that means, oh boy, this could be a little touchy. It doesn't mean that there is an imminent fight, waiting to happen. It just means that dog that has those hackles up, aroused, on alert. And so imagine then this dog that has these big scales along their back that could really set off another dog. And again, you're masking, and you're really making it hard for other dogs to read that dog. All of their facial expressions, their body posture, if they're relaxed or not. So I think it can just be stressful. I know a lot of people do it. I think pet events are great, but I think it can really be stressful. So but the bottom line is you have to learn to read your dog. If your dog is okay with it, your dog might just be dealing with it. You have to decide if you're okay with that. I'm not here to really, provide judgment on that or not, but you just have to learn if your dog is stressed. If your dog is stressed, they're going to be tongue flicking, they're going to be licking their lips, you're going to see a lot of whites of their eyes, you're going to see really tight jaws. If your dog is shaking in any way, if their tail is tucked, I think that's just, really above and beyond what they should be experiencing internally, and I think that you should get them out of there. So just know your dog, know when they're happy, know when they're not, so that you can really gauge if that situation is appropriate. So I think it's a lot to put on a dog to ask them to go trick-or-treating. It's nighttime, it's dark, all of those things that we just talked about, even harder in the dark, even scarier in the dark. I think a lot of people have this misconception that dogs have like really great night vision, which I think that we know that they really don't. And so I think keeping them indoors is the most important thing, because you have kids running everywhere and screaming and hyped up on sugar. You have
even in my neighborhood when the kids are running around screaming, I get these
right,
like,
exactly. You want to go hide in a crate.
I'm in there running and screaming with them, but
right. Yeah, I was going to say, Dr. T, I can't imagine you not partaking in that.
So your best advice on the night is, there are exceptional pets. There are dogs out there who don't care, who are really cool about going around and being dressed up like whatever and going around in those events. But I think it'd be a small population of our dog population. So for the majority of the dogs, your best advice on that evening is to keep them in their own home.
Yep.
And
keep them in their own home. I would have them in a separate room away from the door. have some nice calming music on. Through a Dog's Ear is a great thing that you can get on iTunes, and it plays classical music, but it plays, these are arrangements that have been, I guess, proven somehow to be especially relaxing for dogs. So through a Dog's Ear, you could do that, or sound machine, some sort of white noise. Make them nice and tired and hungry, exercise them beforehand to give them a Kong with something they've never had, or maybe a hard sterilized marrow bone or something from the butcher like that. And let them chew and let them relax, and just keep them away from all of the excitement. If it's really hard for you to be able to do that, if your dog is a good fit for a doggy daycare, or a doggy sleepover at a kennel, that's a great time to take your dog to a safe doggy daycare, to again just get them away from all of that. So that would be my suggestion. Just keep them away, unless, like you said, you have a dog who's just kind of rock solid and doesn't care and kind of goes with the flow. And there are dogs like that out there, but they are very few and far between, especially when it comes to something like Halloween.